salary negotiations do not have to be as hard as many people make them out to be. In this video, I'm going to share with you how public speaking can help you negotiate your salary. Now, before you click off of this video and think I have completely told you something that is inaccurate, give me just a few moments so I can share with you how, personally for me, I'm going to share with you actually a personal story that happened to me that allowed me to negotiate a multiple six-figure salary by utilizing my skills as a public speaker. And if you can grasp how critically important it is to speak better and communicate better, you'll be able to do something very similar in terms of negotiating your salary depending on where you are. Now, many people think that public speaking is only for grandiose type of situations. Maybe you are doing a TEDx talk or maybe a TED talk. Perhaps you're speaking at a conference, or maybe you're speaking to a group of people. Maybe you're speaking to a group of board members. Maybe you are a public official and you're speaking to a group of your constituents. It really just depends. But most people, when they think of public speaking, they think of it as there's this big event that you are speaking publicly in front of everyone at. I want to share with you in this video how public speaking is not only for those very big moments that happen in many of the lives of the individuals that are watching my YouTube channel and that are women in leadership that are growing in their careers, but it really matters in those day-to-day conversations, which is why if you want to negotiate your salary, you absolutely want to become a better public speaker. So I'm going to share with you more information on this in just a few moments. Now, if you are new to me, I'm glad that you stopped by here. The fact that you clicked on this video means you're supposed to be here, friend. The titles of the videos that I make here on my YouTube channel are very, very specific. They are not for the average leaders. If you clicked on this, you are an above average leader. I know that because you are trying to elevate your already very good communication skills. Now, for me specifically, I work with women in leadership in terms of my executive coaching practice on a one-on-one basis. However, if you happen to be a person that is not in my target audience, maybe you are a woman that is not a leader, or perhaps you are a man in leadership, the information I'm going to share with you is going to be very universal in this video and will help you regardless of whether you're in my target audience that I provide one-on-one services to or not. You're going to learn a lot of information in this video. If you're watching this portion of the video, you are more than likely watching the replay, so welcome, friend. Give me just a few moments to say hello to everybody who has just joined our live today, and then we're going to get into how public speaking can help you negotiate a better salary. So welcome, everybody. Hope you are doing well today. Let me know, first, what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. Second, let me know, have you ever struggled with salary negotiations, or would you like to get a higher salary? Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about some strategies that will help you. I will share my own personal story in terms of how public speaking helped me to negotiate a better salary, and I want to be able to share that information with you too and give you some strategies to work on. All right, we have Sydney Hesse. I believe I said that correctly. If I didn't, I'm sorry, friend. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Sydney Hesse says you are so pretty. Well, thank you, Sydney Hesse. I appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. Evie Mojica, welcome, friend. How you doing? Well, and Evie Mojica says, hello, my name is Elijah. Welcome, Elijah. How you doing today? Hope y'all doing fantastically well. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you all are joining from today. And let's talk about salary negotiations. Let's talk about it. Let me share with you what happened to me personally and how you can use some of the strategies that I did as a public speaker to help me negotiate a higher salary. And if you're ready for that, give me a thumbs up. It helps the video get out to more people. And if you like this content so far, then feel free to absolutely subscribe to the video today. Sorry, I had to just pat my hair down for just a second. Now, let me share with you for just a moment, for those of you who just joined, many people think public speaking is something that is only for very big events, specifically your TEDx events, your TED events, your conferences, your board meetings, etc. Well, public speaking can actually help you in your day-to-day conversations. And if you don't remember anything from this video that I'm sharing with you, Remember, public speaking can help you in your day-to-day conversations, and it can help you to increase your salary. Let me know if you have questions about salary negotiations. I'm here to support you in any way that I can. So let me share with you personally what happened to me in a salary negotiation. And this is a multiple six-figure salary negotiation. So let me share with you what happened to me and what strategies I specifically used to help me. And I'm going to also tell you what happened afterwards. And when you hear what happened afterwards, you're going to want to watch this video to the end because you're going to be very surprised. When you hear what happened after my negotiation and after I started working, you are going to be shocked in terms of what I'm going to tell you and why you need to negotiate your salary and use some of the skills that I share with you, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to definitely let you in on a little bit more about me today. Now, at this particular point in my career, and let me know as you all are joining, what are some questions you have about negotiating your salary. I'm sharing with you how public speaking can help you negotiate a higher salary. Learn from my over 20 years of experience as a director, a manager, a C-suite executive, and a public speaker that will help you to fast track your career as a leader. Let me know what questions you have. So to start off with me personally, I was at a point in my career where I've been in senior leadership type of leadership roles in the past for many years. And I was just going to a different senior level position. And in this position specifically, there is a salary range, as most of you know, when you go into jobs and etc. There's a range of a salary that you look for. And I decided that I wanted to go for the highest end of the range. And this is multiple six figures. And I said, I want to go for the highest end of the range for this position because I have this amount of expertise, I've been able to drive results, been able to generate revenue, and etc. So I decided that that's what I wanted to go with. Now, I will tell you that sometimes when you are negotiating your salary, one of the things, and we're just going to go rapid fire today, I'm going to share with you everything that I did, and hopefully that helps you and helps you to understand why public speaking will help you. But I want to give you some preface and some background too, because this happens to many of us when we're trying to negotiate our salaries, particularly as leaders and also as women in leadership. So what happened to me is that I had people that were in my inner circle that were loved ones that were telling me, you shouldn't ask for that salary. That's too high. You shouldn't negotiate and try to get that high. And I personally just let the information go in one ear and out the other ear, because I decided that I was worth that and actually worth more than that. But since this was the highest end of the range that they were offering, I was going to go for the highest end of the range. And if you want to know more about why I am so aggressive with salary negotiation, you'll have to take a look at some of my salary negotiation videos. I don't have time to go into my backstory on that for this video, but if you want me to talk more about it, just let me know in the comments below and I'll talk a little bit more about it in terms of why I do what I do when it comes to salary negotiation when I was an employee. So what happened? I decided to go for the highest end of the salary range. Okay, that was number one. But I was a bit concerned in terms of how they were going to perceive me and what should I do. So these are the public speaking strategies that I used to negotiate my salary. Number one, I came into the meeting very clear and prepared. And so the first public speaking strategy that I'm sharing with you, especially as it relates to negotiating your salary, is to come prepared. Come prepared and know what numbers you specifically want to have as a part of your salary. Now, I have a couple videos here on my YouTube channel that dive more in detail as it relates to salary negotiations. I have a salary negotiation masterclass on my website at exciteexcellence.org under products and services that you're welcome to take a look at also. But I have a lot of great resources here as well on my YouTube channel that will help you be able to learn how to master how you're negotiating your salary. In this particular scenario, as I mentioned, my first strategy for anybody that's a public speaker, you have to know, what are you talking about? You have to have some kind of idea and some type of preparation in advance as to what specifically am I going to talk about in my salary negotiation. Same thing as a public speaker. If you're talking to a group of people, you need to plan ahead just a tiny bit. You need to have some time to think about what specifically it is that you want to talk about. So I knew where I wanted my salary to be. I knew where I wanted it to be, even though I had people tell me not to do it. I said, no, I'm going to ask for the highest salary in the range. So I knew in my mind where I was going to go. Now, when I went into the salary negotiation, I was very polite and very cordial. And that is something that you always want to do when you are negotiating your salary. These are public speaking strategies. If you are speaking to a group of people in the public, are you going to be the person that seems very aggressive and not friendly? No, you definitely don't want to do that. Public speakers should not come across that way if they're trying to really influence and inspire other people. Now, before I go into what I said exactly, I want to know from those of you who are watching live, tell me about a time when you had a salary negotiation that either went really well and you were very happy about it, or a salary negotiation that did not go well. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you're watching the replay. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. I'm curious to know. So when it came down to the actual conversation about salary, it always comes up from the hiring manager. It typically did not come up from me. The hiring manager spoke to me about what kind of salary are you looking for? And I asked specifically the question that I mentioned. And I said, what type of salary would someone with my level of expertise have at this particular organization? Now, before I go into what happened next, in terms of my public speaking strategy, let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. We have Raymond, maybe possibly. Greenco, welcome friend. How you doing today? If I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. It says Raymond Greenco. I believe I have it correct. If I don't, correct me in the chat so I can make sure I address you appropriately. Let me know where you're joining from and if you've ever had any struggles with negotiating your salary. I'm talking about public speaking strategies that will help you to do so. The conversation. When I asked that question, the next thing I did, and this is my public speaking strategy I want you all to do, when you are asked the question, what kind of salary do you want to receive? What kind of salary are you looking for? How much do you want to get paid? However it comes across to you, tell them what type of salary reflects my level of expertise with your organization or something along those lines. And the next thing that you say after that is nothing. Don't say anything at all. Be silent. Now, I know being silent feels awkward and I know it doesn't feel right. However, this is a public speaking strategy that will make you be the person in control of the conversation. Why? Because majority of the time, people are not comfortable with silence. There's a couple things I talked about in my live video earlier this morning that people are not comfortable with. So you definitely want to take a look at that so that you master those skills and you stand out from everybody else as a leader. But if you are silent, most people are not comfortable with silence, even your hiring managers. So if you can be silent after you ask a question like that, and I maintain not only my silence, I maintain direct eye contact with that person. If you want to learn more about eye contact and mastering it, take a look at my live videos and look for eye contact and listen out for the cowboy analogy. But this is something that will absolutely help you out tremendously. Now, before I go into what happened next, after I was silent, after I said what I had to say, and I made direct eye contact with the hiring manager, I'm going to tell you what happened next. All right, so Raymond Grinko says, do you live in the USA? Yes, I am in the amazing Sunshine State of Florida. Now, let's go into what happened next. So I asked the hiring manager the question. I'm using my public speaking strategies of silence, being comfortable with silence, making direct eye contact. Those are two strategies I used. And I let that person talk to me. So that person said, well, we're looking to offer you this particular salary. And as I mentioned, these are multiple six-figure salaries at that time. And the person said, okay, well, we're looking to give you this type of salary. And it was about $10,000 less from what I wanted to be, but I didn't want to go there. So before I go into that, I see something come up on the chat. Ryman Grinko says, I am from Morocco. I love Florida. Awesome. Yes, Florida is a wonderful state. I love the Sunshine State of Florida. I'm in South Florida and just love it here. Now, what happened next? What happened next, friends? What happened next? So this person gives me a salary that's $10,000 less than what I wanted to have. And I said, no, that's not the salary that I want. I said that in my head. I didn't say that out loud. Third public speaking strategy for you. Be very careful in terms of what you say during your salary negotiations and think like a public speaker. Think about how you want to be perceived as. You don't want to ever in your salary negotiations come across as desperate. Please don't do that. They will give you the lowest salary they possibly can. So you don't want to come across as being desperate. How do you not do that in a salary negotiation when you know you need this job? How do you do that? You have to be very calm and composed. So if you can maintain eye contact, be okay with silence in a conversation, and listen very carefully and respond slowly, you will put yourself in a situation where you appear to be very much in control, that you can either take this position or you can walk away from it. And that's exactly what I did. So my third strategy for you as a public speaker was to listen to what's being said and respond in a very polite but very direct way. So when the person said, we are interested in offering you this salary that's at this rank, at this level, I said, well, I'm actually looking for a salary that's $10,000 more than that. What did I do? And exactly what I'm showing you, my facial expressions, exactly what I did. I maintained eye contact, I kept silent, and I had a very straight lip appearance. I didn't smile. I didn't say, oh, okay. No, I'm here to talk about salary. I'm always ready to talk about money. What you're offering me is not what I'm looking for. Can you offer me this? And I stay silent. My hiring manager at the time said, well, I could tell that the hiring manager was a little uncomfortable because I countered. And sometimes, believe it or not, your hiring managers are not used to people countering them as it relates to salary negotiations or even negotiating their salary. They're used to people just taking the salary and saying, oh, thank you for the salary, thank you for the salary. If you're subscribed to this channel or watching this video, I want to make sure you are not that person. You're not the average person. You're not the average leader that's going to fall for that particular type of trick that people do often when it comes to salary negotiation. Because sometimes you may just be in a hard situation. We've all been in hard situations where you need to work at a particular job and you need the salary, but you have to be at a very higher level in terms of your mindset to know you cannot be desperate for this. You cannot be desperate because it will come across that way in your salary negotiations. They'll give you the lowest salary, you'll start your job, and you will be unhappy at the role because you know you could have got paid a lot more. Anyways, after I mentioned that conversation with the hiring manager, I could tell the hiring manager was a little uncomfortable. Why? Because the hiring manager started to shift gait a little bit. I talk about this in my channel. You have to observe people's body language when you're speaking to them because their body language will tell you what they are not wanting to say. It will absolutely tell you what's going on. So I could tell that the hiring manager was uncomfortable. Hiring manager told me, I have to give that some thought. There's some other people I have to talk to about that, and I'll get back with you and let you know. And I said, okay, great. That's fantastic. Now, to summarize, what are the public speaking strategies that I shared with you that you can start doing today that will help you in your salary negotiations? First is be prepared. Know exactly what it is that you're going to talk about. You have to know your numbers. I talk about this on a video about negotiating your salary like a boss. It is a pre-recorded video I have on my channel. Feel free to check it out. I have a lot of videos here on my live tab that talk about salary negotiation. You have a lot to work with, friends. You have several videos that you can learn from in terms of how to negotiate your salary. If you want to go to that next level, then feel free to check out my salary negotiation masterclass on my website under products and services. But the first strategy I'm sharing with you as a public speaker is to be prepared. Know your numbers. Know specifically where you're at, know what the range is, and know exactly what it is that you need to cover you and your household or your loved ones or whatever your situation is, or just covering yourself if you're single. You need to know exactly what you need. Number two, you need to be able to maintain eye contact, direct eye contact. Public speakers are very good at this because we are trained to do this. This is something we are always trained to do. So you want to maintain direct eye contact. Another strategy is you want to be very comfortable with silence. I know this is hard, and if you are a woman in leadership and you're struggling with being comfortable in those uncomfortable situations, especially as it relates to communication as a leader and silence, then contact me for a strategy session in the description below, and we'll have a quick conversation about where you are and how I can get you to the next level. Now, the next strategy I want you to start working on, and these are public speaking strategies, is to control your facial expressions. When you are trying to say something that is very, very important, you have to know exactly what type of face you need to have on. And if you're not sure what type of face, in terms of facial expressions, you need to show, then you need to take a few moments to record yourself and practice. This is something that I work with my clients on in a one-on-one executive coaching session to help them master these appearances so that when they are communicating, whether they are speaking to board members or they're speaking to their constituents or they're speaking to a group of people or they're speaking to their coworkers or they're speaking at a conference, they know what their face looks like when they smile a certain way, maybe when they don't smile, maybe when they look perplexed. They have an idea and they know exactly what they look like when they're doing those facial expressions. So if you want to really dive deep into really transforming how you are communicating as a speaker, then you are absolutely at the right channel to learn as much as you can. So I shared with you those strategies. And the other strategy I shared with you as more of a bonus is to observe the other person. Observe what they are saying in a salary negotiation. Observe how they're speaking. Observe when they are pausing. Observe when you are noticing maybe they feel uncomfortable with what you're saying. As I mentioned, the hiring manager I was communicating with started to shift gait. I could tell that the hiring manager was uncomfortable about the conversation. Now, I promised you I was going to tell you what happened. Now, I know many of you may say, well, what happened? Well, what happened in the role? Let me explain to you and tell you why, friends, why you have to negotiate your salary. And the key way for you to do it is to become a better public speaker. Please, please use these strategies I'm sharing with you today, friends. They will set you apart and they will make you the person in control of the conversation. Even if you feel like you're not the person deciding the salary, you still are going to present yourself as a person that is calm, collected, and in control. And on my channel, that's what I focus on, is to help you communicate confidently and concisely under pressure as a leader. And of course, work with the women in leadership. I do that in executive coaching session. Now let me share with you what happened. What happened? Well, I went ahead and accepted the job at the salary that I asked for. So the salary that I asked, and remember I mentioned to you the hiring manager said they need to think about it. They needed to talk to some other people about it. They gave me the salary that I wanted, and that was a big win for me. However, this is the catch. This is what I want you all to really, really pay attention to. And I'm sharing with you personally what's happened to me. I'm not like other people on YouTube that will just give you the fluff and tell you just these hypothetical situations, hypotheses and leadership models and etc. No, I'm going to share with you exactly real scenarios that actually happen to real life people. So let me show you what happened. Are you ready? You got to come a little closer for this one, okay? So when I accepted the role, remember I accepted this position, and they gave me the salary that I asked for. It was $10,000 more than what they were going to offer me, okay? So I accepted the position, very gladly accepted the position, knew I was going to do tremendous work there, and I did. I did an amazing job there. However, when I started as the senior leader, I had the ability and I had to take a look at overhead, budgets, and etc. And you have to know, as a senior leader, you have to get a sense of what everybody's salaries are. And believe it or not, friends, are you listening? Are you listening carefully? You gotta listen real carefully to this one. And I hope you're sitting down. Believe it or not, when I started this position, and I had to look at overhead, and everybody's overhead, because that factors into you running a business, running a department, running an organization, etc. You have to know your numbers. I found out the hiring manager was offering me that $10,000 less salary that I didn't want. They were offering me the same salary as another person in a role not even similar to mine that was doing just basic 9-to-5 work, not managing a single person, not overseeing budgets, not managing projects, buildings, and etc. Can you believe that? So basically, I was going to be paid the same amount as someone else who was doing a third of the job that I was going to be doing for the organization. Now sit with that for a second. Because when I found this out, I said, I thank God Almighty that I learned how to become a public speaker and that I negotiated my salary. Because if I would have started that job, friends, and found out that my peer that was doing a third of the work that I was going to be doing, not managing a single person, not managing a single project, not managing overhead and budgets, was getting paid the exact same amount that I was getting paid, oh, friends, we would have had to have a conversation for sure. And so I share this personal story with you because, one, this actually really did happen to me. And this happened to me as a senior leader, not as a manager just starting out in my career. No, this is as a senior leader. And I share this with you for multiple reasons. One, I want you all to never put yourself in a situation where you do not negotiate your salary if you have decided to work for someone else. You absolutely want to negotiate your salary. Number two, I want you all to at least be able to see the back end in terms of how this impacted me full circle. I would have been upset, okay? I would have been upset because I actually moved to a different location, a different state for this particular position. And if I would have known that I moved to this position and I was getting paid the same amount as someone who was not doing any managerial task or higher level task at all, I would have been upset. Upset probably would have been the appropriate word. We would have had a conversation about that, and that would have had to been increased very quickly, or I would have left, because that's completely not fair. So I share this with you, one, because I want you to negotiate your salary. Two, I want you to understand that even as a senior leader, you may not get the salary that you're looking for. And three, you have to be mindful that sometimes there are some biases that people have against you, depending on where you are. Are you a woman in the field? Are you a man in the field? There's some biases that are there, friends, that really do seriously happen as it relates to negotiating your salary. And luckily, I was able to see it full circle because of the higher level role that I had. And I can share this with you all to let you know these things really do happen. They really, really sincerely do happen. And I can't imagine if I would not have used the public speaking skills that I shared with you in this video today to not negotiate my salary. I can't even imagine me not doing that. So if you don't take anything away from this video, please understand that public speaking will change your life. It is not for your scenarios when you are in those big conferences, your TED Talks, etc. It is for your day-to-day conversations that you have that you think you don't need it. Because if you can speak very well in public, then this is something that you can do in your day-to-day conversations, and you will automatically stand out from everybody else. Now, I hope my personal story gives you all some inspiration, because if you are subscribed to my channel or you follow my content, whether you're in my direct target audience in terms of women in leadership or not, you're going to learn a lot of information here, whether you're a woman in leadership, a man in leadership, a woman that's leader, and etc. So before I go into the chat, see some things popped up. Jude Jameson, welcome, friend. How you doing today? Jude Jameson says, I hope you are having a good day. I just wanted to stop by real fast. Well, thank you. Welcome. Jude Jameson says, I'm going to my friend's house, so I got to go. No problem, Jude Jameson. We talked about a good topic here on the live, so thank you for the heart emojis, friends. Feel free to check out the replay whenever it uploads to YouTube. But Jude Jameson, thank you so much for stopping by. Jude Jameson is a subscriber, so I'm glad that he stopped by today. So I hope you all understand why public speaking will change your life. And maybe you all, I know sometimes you probably think I just go completely overboard with speaking in public and giving you these advanced level skills. But friends, this is something I'm incredibly passionate about. I have lived it every single day, and I have seen how people have completely been taken advantage of in multiple ways in their career growth, maybe being overlooked, maybe not receiving the salary that they should be receiving, or not being paid in the right way, by not being able to communicate at a higher level, meaning that you are a better public speaker. So I hope that y'all can have a sense of the passion of why this means so much to me and why I'm so incredibly passionate about helping you. I believe that people become great by how they communicate. And so my role, my mission here on this earth is to unlock the greatness within you, whether you are in my direct target audience, woman in leadership, or maybe you're not my direct target audience. Maybe you're a man in leadership. Maybe you are a woman that is not a leader. I'm here to really support you on your journey. So I want to know from you, which of the public speaking strategies do you think you want to start working on today? Which of these strategies do you think you want to start working on to develop? Because the strategies I shared with you today will help you to negotiate a higher salary. And I also want to know, have you ever struggled in a salary negotiation? Now, I know I have. I've shared my story here on my YouTube channel in terms of what was the pivotal point for me to become so aggressive with salary negotiations. I shared that. If you haven't watched my video, you got to watch a few of my videos to figure that one out. But it's probably more so on salary negotiation. I have to look through it and see. But have you ever struggled with salary negotiations? Or maybe you've done very well in salary negotiations like myself, and you have a story that you want to share. So what would that be? What type of strategies do you have that you want to share to our amazing community of exceptional leaders? Let me know in the comments below. I hope this information has been helpful to you. And for those of you who are still here, I appreciate you being here. I do want to let you know, if you are new to me, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. I talk about content like this every single day. My channel focuses in on how to help you communicate concisely and confidently under pressure, especially as a woman in leadership, or if you're outside of the audience, a man in leadership, or a woman that's leader also, or not a leader just yet. I go live Tuesday through Friday, and I typically go live in the mornings, and I also go live in the evenings as well. Depending on the topic, I will add more additional insight to it in the evenings, but I'm really here to support you all. I appreciate you all so much as my subscribers. You have no idea. I'm just so incredibly excited that our subscriber count is growing. We're over 500 subscribers right now, which is amazing. And I can see you all are watching the videos, so that's very exciting to me. I'm here really to support you, and I'm just thankful for all of you and for spending time with me and engaging. Just like Jude Jameson came on just to say hello. I appreciate that. I really, really do. And I want to help you. So let me know, what challenges are you facing right now as leaders in terms of how you are communicating? Maybe you have a difficult conversation coming up. Maybe you're not at a place in your career where you want to be, and you feel like you're not able to articulate your value. Perhaps you are in a situation where it's very complicated and you're not quite sure of what direction you need to go. Learn from my over 20 years of experience, friends. I've been in friendly conversations and contentious conversations. I've dealt with all kinds of things, and people tend to come to me for the hard things, the hard conversations, the very difficult tasks that come with having the wonderful world of leadership as a part of your industry that you are in. So feel free to contact me about anything that's related to leadership, professional, just development, really communication. This is my expertise, and I'm here to really support you all as much as I can on my journey. You're welcome to leave a comment here on my YouTube channel on any of my videos. I do read them. Let me know if there's any topics you want to learn more about. And you can also reach out to me if you have something that is maybe a bit more sensitive that you want to talk to me about. If you're a woman in leadership, contact me for a strategy session in the description below. Or you're also welcome to reach out to me at Dr. Jacinta Lamantai at LinkedIn, at Excite Excellence. That's my business name at LinkedIn. And then also at Excite Excellence on Instagram as well. Just send me a DM and let's find some time to chat, so you don't have to feel like you're going at this alone. And if you are a business owner, I know how it is running a business. I know you need to communicate better. If you are an elected official and you're trying to really elevate how you're communicating, then contact me. Let's have a conversation about how we can elevate how you're communicating. I'm here really to support you. Learn from my experience that I've had over the past 20 years. I've interacted with a lot of people. They've been a part of some very friendly conversations and contentious conversations with different leaders, elected officials, and congressmen, congresswomen on the national and the local stage here. So let me know how I can support you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. And don't forget, public speaking will change your life, and public speaking will absolutely help you to negotiate your salary. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.